Imagine a world where Alzheimer's disease could be transmitted. Sounds far-fetched, right? Traditionally, we've understood Alzheimer's as a disease that gradually develops over time, typically surfacing in later years of life. The main culprit behind this debilitating condition is a protein known as amyloid beta. This protein can accumulate in the brain, forming clumps or plaques that interfere with the normal functioning of brain cells, leading to the symptoms we associate with Alzheimer's disease. But what if our understanding of Alzheimer's is about to be turned on its head? A recent study published in Nature Medicine presents a provocative new perspective. The researchers suggest that in very rare instances, Alzheimer's disease may be transmitted from one individual to another. But hold on. This doesn't mean that Alzheimer's is contagious like a common cold or the flu. The transmission they're talking about occurred through a very specific route: contaminated growth hormone therapy. This therapy, which was derived from human cadavers and used for treating growth disorders, was discontinued in the mid-80s, but not before some patients received treatments that were unknowingly contaminated with amyloid beta proteins. Decades later, some of these patients developed Alzheimer's disease at a much younger age than is typical. So, does this mean we've been wrong about Alzheimer's all this time? Let's delve deeper. Researchers embarked on a journey to challenge our understanding of Alzheimer's disease. The study we're discussing today, published in Nature Medicine, took an intriguing approach. The scientists turned their attention to patients who had received a particular treatment, cadaver-derived pituitary growth hormone, or CHGH. Now, this treatment was discontinued back in the 80s, but its long-term effects continue to manifest in some patients. The researchers focused on 8 individuals who had been treated with CHGH and were later referred to the National Prion Clinic. The intriguing part? None of these 8 individuals had died from Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, a condition previously associated with CHGH treatment. Instead, they showed symptoms of something else: Alzheimer's disease. The study involved a meticulous investigation of these patients' medical histories, alongside careful clinical evaluations. The researchers were looking for one thing in particular: evidence of amyloid beta pathology. This is the development of amyloid beta, or AB, deposits in the brain, a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. And what they found was startling. All 8 patients showed signs of amyloid beta pathology. This suggests that Alzheimer's disease may have occurred in these individuals as a result of their CHGH treatment. Now you might be wondering, why is this significant? Well, it suggests that Alzheimer's disease could be transmitted under very specific circumstances, such as exposure to contaminated human tissue. This is a radical shift from our traditional understanding of Alzheimer's as a non-transmissible disease. It also draws parallels between Alzheimer's and prion diseases, which are known to be spreadable under certain conditions. But there's more. The study also found that these patients tended to develop Alzheimer's symptoms at a younger age than typically expected. Some showed signs of dementia as young as 38 years old, which is far from the norm. The findings underscore the importance of decontaminating surgical equipment and implementing measures to prevent accidental transmission of diseases like Alzheimer's. They also pave the way for potential therapeutic strategies targeting disease-related assemblies. It appears that the researchers have stumbled upon a new way Alzheimer's disease might occur. But before we jump to conclusions, let's compare these findings with our traditional understanding. Alzheimer's disease has always been considered a condition of aging, not something you catch. Could this new study change that perception? Traditionally, Alzheimer's disease has been viewed as a degenerative disorder that primarily affects the elderly. Over time, the brain cells of individuals with Alzheimer's start to deteriorate due to the buildup of 2 types of proteins: amyloid beta and tau. These proteins form clumps or plaques that disrupt the communication between brain cells, leading to memory loss, confusion, and cognitive decline. This is the classical theory of Alzheimer's onset. It's a process that happens naturally over time, not something you can catch like a cold or flu. However, this recent study has introduced a new perspective, suggesting that Alzheimer's could potentially be transmitted under very specific and rare circumstances, specifically through exposure to contaminated human growth hormone. The study found that certain patients who received this hormone decades ago developed early-onset Alzheimer's. The hormone was contaminated with amyloid beta proteins, the same proteins that cause Alzheimer's symptoms when they accumulate in the brain. So, how does this fit with our traditional understanding of Alzheimer's? Well, it doesn't contradict it, but rather adds a new layer. The amyloid beta proteins are still at the center of the disease process, but their source may not always be the individual's own body. In these rare cases, the proteins were introduced from an external source, leading to the same accumulation and plaque formation that we see in typical Alzheimer's. But it's important to note that this happened due to a medical procedure, not through everyday contact or air transmission. However, the study also found some similarities with prion diseases, which are known to spread from person to person through contaminated tissue. Like Alzheimer's, prion diseases involve the accumulation of abnormal proteins in the brain. This parallel has led researchers to further explore the mechanisms of protein spread in the brain, potentially opening up new avenues for Alzheimer's research. So, the new findings add another layer to our understanding of Alzheimer's disease, but do they mean we should start worrying? Let's find out. Before anyone panics, let's put things into perspective. The transmission of Alzheimer's disease through contaminated growth hormone, as the study suggests, is indeed a rare occurrence. This shouldn't be mistaken for a common cause or a widespread risk. In fact, the use of cadaver-derived growth hormone, the kind involved in this study, was discontinued way back in 1985. This happened after it was discovered that some patients developed Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, another neurodegenerative disorder, from this treatment. The risk of acquiring Alzheimer's disease in this way is tied to a medical practice that is no longer in use. Moreover, let's not forget the rigorous safety measures that are now in place in the medical field. Since the discontinuation of this kind of therapy, there has been a heightened emphasis on the importance of effective decontamination of surgical instruments and other medical equipment. These measures are aimed at preventing any accidental transmission of diseases, including Alzheimer's. This study also brings to light the importance of ongoing research. It underlines the need to continually review and enhance safety measures to ensure that we are doing everything possible to prevent such rare occurrences in the future. So, while it's true that this study has uncovered a new, albeit rare, way that Alzheimer's disease can develop, it's crucial to remember that this doesn't mean Alzheimer's is contagious in the traditional sense. You can't catch it from someone else in your day-to-day life. The term transmissible refers to the ability of a disease or condition to be passed from one individual to another. However, the term contagious specifically describes the ease with which a disease or condition can be transmitted from one person to another. A contagious disease spreads easily and rapidly among individuals within a population. It often implies a high likelihood of transmission through casual contact or proximity to an infected person. While this study opens up new avenues for understanding Alzheimer's disease, it's important to remember that the scientists in this study have uncovered the possibility of Alzheimer's being transmissible, not contagious. So what does all this mean for us and our understanding of Alzheimer's disease? This study presents an intriguing new perspective on the disease's transmission, suggesting that in rare instances, it can be transmitted through contaminated human growth hormone therapy. However, it's crucial to remember that these findings don't imply that Alzheimer's is contagious in the way a virus may be. The study reinforces the importance of stringent safety measures in medical procedures and treatments, highlighting the need for effective decontamination of surgical instruments and careful handling of disease-related proteins. It also reminds us of the disease's complexities, showing that there's still much we don't know about Alzheimer's. Traditional theories and these new findings don't contradict each other. Rather, they add another layer to our understanding, painting a more nuanced picture of the disease. In the end, the fight against Alzheimer's continues, and every new piece of research brings us one step closer to understanding this complex disease. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay healthy. Please press the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Look below for more information on this study, including a link if you desire to read it. Thank you for watching.